organisation gives these very brave women that we've been hearing about. And the women are so important. I mean, they can contribute so much to the country and make up half the population. It's a shame that they're not allowed to blossom and to look after their children fully. I'm sitting by these flowers. You can't smell it probably, but there's a beautiful scent coming from them. And I'm hoping that our encouragement and good wishes and love will be floating through space to those lovely women, just as the scent of those freesias does. Okay. I'm sorry that more of UNIFEM members can't come today, but they went to the Commission for Women in the UN Commission for the Status of Women in New York, and only just got back whilst they've been poorly. So I'm on the executive committee or board of the UNIFEM UK. Now, UNIFEM itself is a United Nations organisation, and it's a funny thing that the initials for UNIFEM don't match the title of the organisation. It's called United Nations Development Fund for Women, and basically that is set up by the United Nations. There was a decade for women to empower and help them, 1975, and that was when this was really set up to be raising funds and trying to increase the resources to help women around the world. And there are branches in different nations which try to support their work, and the United Kingdom gets quite a lot and raises money for the project. Now the UNIFEM, International, if you like, of the United Nations, is run by a sort of a committee of people. It's quite unusual because most organisations have individuals and so on, but this is the members of the committee are from different nations and they're members of the United Nations. So it's a very international thing, and their membership rotates around various countries every 5 years, and they set a policy, and there's a framework document. If you go on if you have the access to the internet, you could go on and look up UNIFEM, which will give you the United Nations. You can look up UNIFEM UK, which gives you the local, if you like. And there you can see their framework document, which is basically giving a plan of what they hope that they can achieve. And one of the most important things is for the trust fund of this is to raise money to sponsor projects run usually by women around the world, and they are very helpful, carefully chosen projects which are given grants. And these grants are quite substantial. I saw on the website that they're about $100,000 or $300,000 that order. And on the website too, there's an application form, so that if somebody thinks they've got a project and they would like support for it in order to help the women, and it can be in anywhere in the world, then there's a form there, and it's written in different languages. You download the one you need. So that's there. Now, you have to think how your local project kind of fits in with the UNIFEM objectives. Now, UNIFEM can't go and help every single little organisation there is, because there are too many, but they do work in partnership with lots of other organisations as a positive, and with governments and so on, and so that they can achieve quite a lot with what they do. The main points I've got down, which you see on most of our literature, is very much against finding ways to stop violence against women, all sorts of violence. They work for governance, peace and security, gender equality and democratic government, and so on. They want to reduce the amount of HIV and AIDS, which is increasingly affecting women. There's various ways in which women suffer due to poverty and economic problems, and you touched on some of the difficulties. So that's quite an area, and human rights, of course, affects women. Also, UNIFEM would support the Millennium Goals, about 8 Millennium Development Goals set up, and UNIFEM focuses on 4 particularly, but all of them affect women, and UNIFEM would be wanting to help with those things. And what they can do is they can collect figures and statistics. Ones separate out the statistics which go for women, because if the women are lost in a mass of figures, it's not very helpful. But if you can pull out the women's statistics, they try and do that, and then you know where help is most needed. So then you can analyse it, and they do quite a lot of like this conference and get experts to give their opinions on planning what they should do, which way to go. All the practitioners give their advice, and they do a lot of advocacy, speaking up for women, and the kind of operational programs are based on those 4 things I mentioned: feminized poverty, violence against women, the HIV/AIDS one, and gender equality and democratic governance. So those are the main things they're trying to do. And I think probably that if you want any more information, I mean, UNIFEM has literature and it's got resources. This is something they spend money on. So you've got a DVD called Voice, with the voices of the women who need help, and there's a little one here called I Can Touch the Sun. And then you've got sort of summary description of the work and the projects and what they actually achieve. And they do actually manage to get some laws altered, and they get the government sort of saying, yes, I'll sign up to a document, it's bad to do nasty things to women. And then the government has to also put that into practice and give money for it and so on. And so a lot of work goes on those lines. This is a typical UNIFEM pack, and it's got the UNIFEM sort of annual report. So afterwards, if you want to, you can sort of have a quick look in there. And that's sort of various other UNIFEM. This is confronting the HIV/AIDS crisis, and that one's just one of the annual reports. So basically, a lot going on internationally, cooperating with lots of women's organisations, helping the women, and wanting the women to be working like from grassroots actually, so that it's their creativity and innovation anyway, so that they're there and they know the situation, they know what's needed. So if they, like you said, you had a petition, but if somebody wanted to set up a counselling centre or some other idea, there's so many needs, but if you can get it into a format suitable and ask for a grant, you can, perhaps get a bit of help. So I'm hoping that perhaps, UNIFEM at any rate can be assistance to you.
Thank you very much, Dr.